10 countries where black people can buy luxury homes for $100,000. You won't believe these deals. Sounds crazy, right? 100 grand barely gets you a decent parking spot in some US cities, but overseas, that same budget can land you a luxury home. Yes, a real one, with ocean views, private pools, and marble floors so shiny they make your grandma's best china look dull. Black expats and investors are cashing in on these deals, snatching up properties that would cost millions elsewhere. Whether it's a sleek city condo, a beachfront retreat, or a countryside escape, these 10 black-friendly countries where you can buy luxury homes for under $100,000 are turning heads. And no, we're not talking about fixer-uppers that require a miracle and $1 million renovation. These are move-in-ready homes in stunning locations. The global real estate market is changing, and these spots are offering affordable luxury homes for $100,000 while they still can. But where exactly are these hidden gems? Stick around because you won't believe which countries made the list. Hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on real estate investment, overseas property, and luxury homes abroad. Let's dive in. Number 10. Tunisia. $100,000 for a Mediterranean villa? In this economy? Sounds like a scam, right? But nope. Tunisia is handing out luxury homes at prices that'll make you rethink your entire life plan. You could be sitting in traffic back home, or you could be sipping mint tea on the terrace of your own Mediterranean-style villa in Hammamet or Sousse, staring at the sea like some oil tycoon. Now let's be real. When people think of luxury real estate, they usually picture places like France or Italy. But Tunisia? This North African gem is out here playing the long game, serving up whitewashed seaside homes, historic charm, and year-round sunshine, all without the European price tag. And while your friends are flexing overpriced apartments in New York or LA, you could own a full-fledged villa in Tunisia for less than the price of a down payment on a shoebox in those cities. Tunisia isn't just a place, it's a vibe. The cost of living is shockingly low, meaning you can enjoy fresh seafood, local markets, and beachside cafes without having to check your bank account every 5 minutes. And the culture? A perfect mix of African warmth and Arab elegance, where hospitality is a way of life. Think Morocco meets Italy, but without the tourist traps and overpriced espressos. And let's talk climate. Tunisia has 300 days of sunshine a year. That means while your friends back home are shoveling snow, you're debating whether you should hit the beach or the souks. Tough life, huh? Here's where it gets even better. Tunisia's real estate market is still undervalued, which means you're not just getting a house, you're making an investment before prices catch up to reality. And let's not ignore the fact that Tunisia is one of the most stable and developed countries in Africa. Infrastructure? Solid. Healthcare? Affordable. Internet? Fast enough to flex your new home on social media. No place is perfect, right? Tunisia has some bureaucracy to navigate when buying property, especially if you're not a resident. But guess what? That's nothing a good lawyer can't handle. And let's be honest, a little paperwork is a small price to pay for Mediterranean luxury at a fraction of the cost. So, are you ready to trade stress for sunsets? Number 9. The Philippines. $100,000 in the US might get you a rundown studio apartment with a charming view of a brick wall. But in the Philippines? That same budget lands you a beachfront condo in Cebu, a sleek high-rise in Manila, or a modern apartment in Davao City with a balcony overlooking paradise. That's right. You could be waking up to ocean breezes and sipping fresh mango juice on your private terrace, all while your friends back home are stuck in traffic, debating if they can afford avocado toast this week. Now, before you start packing your bags, here's the deal. Foreigners can't own land in the Philippines. But don't panic, you can own a condo outright, as long as the building is at least 60% Filipino-owned. So no, you won't be buying a rice farm or a private island anytime soon, but let's be real. A luxury condo with resort-style amenities sounds a lot better than maintaining a giant lawn, doesn't it? The Philippines is a dream for black expats who want to stretch their dollars without sacrificing comfort. The cost of living? Ridiculously low. A 3-course meal in a nice restaurant costs less than a Starbucks order back home, and rent is about 80% cheaper than in the US. That means you can live like royalty without the stress of American bills chasing you down. But let's talk about the real reason people fall in love with the Philippines. The vibes. The people here? Some of the friendliest you'll ever meet. The beaches? Straight up screensaver material. The culture? A mix of Spanish, Malay, and American influences, making it both familiar and exotic at the same time. And if you like warm weather? Congratulations, you just signed up for year-round summer. Here's where it gets even better. The real estate market in the Philippines is still affordable, but prices are rising fast as more expats and investors catch on. That $100,000 deal today might be $150,000 next year. So, unless you enjoy paying more for the same thing later, now's the time to jump in. So, the real question is, would you trade cold winters and high rent for beachfront sunsets and $3 dinners? Number 8. South Africa. Ever looked at a luxury home online and thought, who on earth can afford this? Well, plot twist, you can. And no, I'm not talking about moving into your cousin's guest room rent-free. I'm talking about owning a full-fledged modern home in South Africa, gated community, security, and all, for what you'd pay for a used Honda in the US. South Africa has some of the most stunning real estate on the planet, and thanks to the favorable exchange rate, your dollars go a long way here. That $100,000 budget? It can land you a modern home in Johannesburg, a chic apartment in Cape Town, or a spacious property in Durban. The kind of places you see in real estate ads where people are casually sipping coffee on oversized balconies, acting like they don't have a care in the world. And let's talk gated communities. In the US, those are reserved for the ultra-rich and reality TV stars dodging paparazzi. But in South Africa, they're a standard option. Think 24/7 security, beautifully landscaped streets, and houses that make you feel like you finally made it. All without selling a kidney. Now, why is South Africa such a steal? The exchange rate is working in your favor. As of now, $1 is worth nearly 19 South African rand. That means your money stretches like it's been doing yoga for years. While people in the US are struggling to buy groceries, you're out here buying a whole house with extra change for furniture, renovations, and maybe even a housewarming party. Alright, let's talk lifestyle. Johannesburg is the financial powerhouse. Big city energy, skyscrapers, and a nightlife scene that refuses to sleep. Cape Town? Straight-up postcard material. Beaches, mountains, and restaurants so fancy you'll forget you're only spending $10 on a meal. And Durban? Tropical vibes, warm beaches, and a huge Indian and African cultural influence that makes the food scene absolutely legendary. And before you ask, yes, South Africa has a large black population, about 80% of the country, in fact. So, if you've been looking for a place where you feel like you belong, this might just be it. Of course, no place is perfect. South Africa has had its challenges with crime, and that's why gated communities are a big deal. Not just for safety, but for that extra peace of mind. But honestly, doesn't every country have its good and bad areas? You're not going to be moving into a war zone. You're moving into a luxury home in a secure neighborhood where people are out here enjoying life. So, here's the million-rand question. Would you trade in your overpriced US rent for a luxury home in sunny South Africa? Number 7. Dominican Republic. Picture this. You wake up to crystal-clear waters, palm trees swaying in the breeze, and a beachfront villa that looks like something straight off a postcard. Sounds like the kind of luxury reserved for billionaires, right? Wrong. In the Dominican Republic, this could be your life for the price of a glorified shoebox in New York or LA. Let's talk locations. Punta Cana, the place where influencers and spring breakers go to flex on Instagram? Yeah, you can actually own property there, not just visit for a weekend and leave broke. Then there's Sosua, where the beaches are golden and the nightlife never sleeps. And let's not forget Puerto Plata, a hidden gem that gives you Caribbean beauty without the tourist crowds. These aren't just places you vacation in, these are places you can actually call home. Now let's talk money. Property taxes? Practically non-existent. You'll pay around 1% annually on properties over $150,000, which means if you snag a $100,000 home, you're looking at a tax bill so low it might bring a tear to your eye. Compare that to what you'd pay in the US, and suddenly, you realize Uncle Sam has been robbing you blind. And let's be real, owning a home in the Caribbean isn't just about affordability, it's about lifestyle. You get year-round warm weather, beaches at your doorstep, and fresh seafood that doesn't cost a small fortune. Imagine trading in your daily stress for sunsets and mojitos on your private balcony. One thing people don't talk about enough: the Dominican Republic is becoming a hot spot for Black expats. Whether it's African Americans looking for a fresh start or Afro-Caribbeans returning to their roots, the DR is a place where you won't feel like an outsider. The culture is vibrant, the people are welcoming, and the music? Don't even get me started. You'll find yourself dancing bachata before you even unpack your suitcase. Of course, no place is perfect. You'll need to learn a little Spanish, unless you want to be the expat constantly yelling, "Hablas inglés?" at everyone. And while the cost of living is low, imported goods can be pricey. So if you're addicted to American brand peanut butter, you might have to make some sacrifices. But let's be honest, isn't a beachfront villa worth switching to local brands? Would you trade sky-high US rent for tropical breezes and stress-free living? Number 6. Ghana. They said you'd never own property. They lied. While folks in the US are out here fighting for overpriced apartments with no parking, Ghana is offering luxury homes near beaches, buzzing cities, and history-rich communities for a price that won't leave your wallet in tears. Accra, Ghana's capital, is booming. Think modern condos, gated communities, and beachfront villas, all within that magic $100,000 budget. Over in Cape Coast, you get stunning ocean views without the tourist crowd pricing you out. And then there's Kumasi, Ghana's cultural heartbeat, where tradition meets modern living. Big homes, big land, and big value for your money. Ghana isn't just selling houses, it's selling belonging. The Year of Return initiative kicked off in 2019, inviting Black Americans and the African diaspora to reconnect with their roots. Thousands answered the call, and many didn't just visit. They bought land, built homes, and created businesses. And let's talk numbers. Ghana's real estate market is still affordable, but growing fast. A decade ago, you could buy prime land in Accra for what you'd spend on a used car. Today, prices are rising, and early investors are winning big. Now, let's be honest. No country is perfect. Traffic in Accra is an Olympic sport, and imported goods can get pricey. Yes, your favorite cereal might cost double. But when you weigh that against owning a luxury home in a country that actually wants you there, the choice seems pretty clear. So, what do you think? Is Ghana calling your name? Hold up! Are you seeing the insane real estate deals on this list? We're only halfway through, and we've already uncovered luxury homes and breathtaking locations for less than the cost of a down payment in the US. But trust me, the best is yet to come. You won't believe the countries coming up next. So if you're loving this list, smash that like button to help more people discover these hidden gems. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe because you don't want to miss out on more affordable luxury real estate and dream destinations coming your way. All right, back to the countdown. Let's see where else you can buy your dream home for $100,000. Number 5. Mexico. Someone's paying $3,000 a month for a one-bedroom in LA, and you're about to own a whole modern home in Mexico for the same price. Let that sink in. While folks back home are rationing their avocado toast and dodging rent hikes, you could be sitting in your own home in Mérida, Playa del Carmen, or Puerto Vallarta, sipping fresh squeezed juice, wondering why you didn't make the move sooner. Mexico isn't just for tourists looking to sip margaritas by the beach. It's becoming a top destination for Black expats looking for affordable luxury and a slower pace of life. Mérida, known as the safest city in Mexico, offers colonial-style homes, tree-lined streets, and modern developments where your dollar stretches further than a yoga instructor mid-sun salutation. Over in Playa del Carmen, you get coastal luxury with a vibrant community, walkable streets, and an international crowd. And let's not forget Puerto Vallarta, where ocean view homes come with resort-style amenities, private pools, and a price tag that'll make you question why you ever considered buying in the US. The cost of living in Mexico is a game changer. That overpriced dinner you regret in the States? Here, you could get a 3-course meal with drinks for under $20. Need a housekeeper? Less than $5 an hour. And when it comes to healthcare, Mexico's private hospitals often provide better service than what you'd get in the US. for a fraction of the cost. And the best part? Residency is easy. Mexico offers a temporary resident visa, allowing you to stay for up to 4 years with minimal paperwork. That means no stressful immigration processes, no 90-day visa runs, and no wondering whether you'll be forced back into overpriced housing purgatory. If you're worried about fitting in as a Black expat, don't be. Mexico's Black community is growing fast, with many finding comfort in the culture's warmth and openness. Whether you're looking for Black expat groups, African American-owned businesses, or just a place where you're welcomed without side-eye or microaggressions, you'll find it here. So here's the million-peso question. Would you swap overpriced rent and cold winters for affordable luxury and year-round sunshine? Number 4. Brazil. Some people are out here paying $100,000 for a rundown fixer-upper in the US, and meanwhile, Brazil is over here handing out ocean view homes like party favors. Yes, you read that right. Salvador, Bahia, and Fortaleza are serving up beachfront real estate with price tags that seem like a typo. Let's start with Salvador, Bahia, the beating heart of Afro-Brazilian culture. Think rich history, lively festivals, and a community where Black people don't just exist, they thrive. The food, seasoned to perfection. The music, infectious. The vibe, unmatched. And unlike in the US, you won't have to go searching for diverse neighborhoods because this city is unapologetically Black. Then there's Fortaleza, a coastal paradise where ocean views and modern apartments go for what some folks spend on a year of rent back home. The beaches here, postcard perfect. The seafood, so fresh it might still be swimming. And with Brazil's cost of living, your budget stretches further than a capoeira master mid-kick. Some countries make foreigners jump through flaming hoops to buy property, but not Brazil. There are no restrictions on foreign ownership, meaning you can own land, a condo, or even a whole beachfront villa without needing a local partner. And before you ask, yes, that includes full ownership rights, no sneaky loopholes or long-term leases disguised as ownership. Brazil's real estate prices remain shockingly low compared to the US or Europe. That means your $100,000 isn't getting you some tiny studio, it's buying you space. We're talking balconies, guest rooms, and enough square footage to finally get that home office you've been dreaming about. Now, let's be real. Brazil is a paradise with personality. You'll need to brush up on your Portuguese or get really good at hand gestures, and like any major country, it has its good and bad areas. But if you're looking for a place where Black culture is celebrated, the cost of living is low, and the beach is never far away, Brazil might just be your next home. So tell me, would you make the move to Brazil? Number 3. Thailand. Some people are still debating whether they can afford a second-hand Toyota, and meanwhile Thailand is over here offering beachfront condos for the same price. Let that sink in. Chiang Mai, Pattaya, and Phuket aren't just travel destinations. They're places where you can own a modern luxury condo and live like a VIP without burning through your savings. Let's talk locations. Chiang Mai, a digital nomad paradise where the streets are lined with temples, the cost of living is ridiculously low, and your biggest decision of the day is whether to have authentic Thai curry or fresh mango sticky rice for lunch. Then there's Pattaya, the lively beach city where the nightlife is wild and the ocean views are even better. And finally, Phuket, where your Instagram will never be the same again. White sand beaches, turquoise waters, and island life at its best. For under $100,000, you can get a modern, fully furnished condo with amenities like pools, gyms, and 24/7 security. Meanwhile, back in the US, $100,000 won't even get you a decent parking spot in some cities. Make it make sense. Now let's get one thing straight. Foreigners can't own land in Thailand. The laws say, nice try, but nope. However, here's the loophole. You can buy a condo outright, as long as at least 51% of the building is Thai-owned. No long-winded legal workarounds, no shady deals, just straight-up ownership. Want to own land? You'll need a Thai business partner or lease agreement, which some people do, but a condo is the simplest way to go. And honestly, do you really need a whole plot of land when you're steps away from a private beach, infinity pool, and all the pad thai you could ever want? Thailand isn't just affordable, it's ridiculously affordable. We're talking about $2 street food meals that taste better than anything you've had back home, cheap luxury massages, and healthcare so good that people fly in just to get treated here. And let's not forget that Thailand is one of the most welcoming countries for Black expats. Locals are friendly, the vibe is laid back, and if you enjoy warm weather, congratulations, you'll never have to deal with winter again. So what's stopping you? Are you staying in a high-cost city just for the privilege of paying too much rent? Or are you ready to swap that for a life of sunsets, street markets, and high-rise living for a fraction of the cost? Number 2. Colombia. Rent in the US is so high that people are paying thousands just to live in a shoebox. Meanwhile, Colombia is handing out colonial mansions and beachfront properties for the price of a used car. Yes, you heard that right. For $100,000, you could be living in Cartagena, Medellin, or Cali, surrounded by history, culture, and views that look straight out of a movie. Cartagena is pure magic, a city where cobblestone streets meet Caribbean beaches, and the buildings look like they were dipped in gold at sunset. Here, you can own a colonial-style home with high ceilings, Spanish architecture, and a courtyard so beautiful it belongs on a postcard. The best part? You're steps away from the ocean, fresh seafood, and some of the most vibrant nightlife in South America. Over in Medellin, the city of eternal spring, you get perfect weather year-round, modern condos with mountain views, and a lifestyle so affordable that dinner and drinks might cost less than a coffee back home. Meanwhile, Cali, the salsa capital of the world, is full of energy, music, and a growing real estate market where you can get a luxury home for a fraction of US prices. Colombia isn't just beautiful, it's welcoming. With one of the largest Afro-Latin populations in the world, it's a place where Black expats feel at home. Towns like San Basilio de Palenque, the first free Black town in the Americas, show just how deep the history runs here. Plus, let's be honest, Colombians love Black culture. The food, the music, the style, it all blends seamlessly into their way of life. Walk through any major city and you'll see Black-owned businesses, Afro-Colombian festivals, and a level of appreciation that feels refreshing compared to certain places. Cough looking at you, US. Living in Colombia means luxury for cheap. A beachfront condo in Cartagena? Under $100,000. A modern apartment in Medellin with city views? About the same. And with Colombia's cost of living, you can afford a housekeeper, chef, and a weekly massage without having to be a millionaire. Colombia is vibrant, affordable, and welcoming. So why are you still overpaying for rent back home? Would you trade in high costs and cold winters for tropical breezes and historic charm? Number 1. Turkey. Let's be real. How many times have you looked at home prices in the US and thought, yeah, I'll just live in my car instead? Meanwhile, over in Turkey, that same money can land you a modern villa, a penthouse with city views, or a seaside retreat in places like Istanbul, Antalya, or Izmir. That's right, you could be sipping Turkish tea on a private balcony overlooking the Bosphorus, while back home, folks are still trying to outbid each other on a rundown apartment with no parking. Istanbul is where history, culture, and real estate dreams collide. This city is a mix of ancient wonders and modern luxury, and believe it or not, $100,000 can get you a stylish penthouse or a spacious apartment in a thriving neighborhood. Maybe Antalya is more your vibe, a coastal paradise on the Mediterranean where palm trees, crystal-clear beaches, and luxury condos come standard. The expat community is growing fast, and why wouldn't it? The cost of living is low, the seafood is fresh, and you're basically living in a postcard. And then there's Izmir, a city with a laid-back atmosphere, stunning sea views, and a real estate market that's still flying under the radar. Want a villa near the Aegean Sea? You can have it for less than what some people are paying for a bathroom remodel back in the States. Unlike some countries that make foreigners jump through bureaucratic hoops, Turkey actually wants you to invest. You don't need a local partner, a complicated lease agreement, or a secret handshake to own property here. Just show up with your cash, sign the paperwork, and boom, you're a homeowner. And for those thinking long-term, buying real estate in Turkey can even get you a residence permit. Meaning, you're not just investing in a house, you're investing in the freedom to live abroad without worrying about visa runs or government headaches. Turkey isn't just handing out cheap real estate, it's also giving you a 5-star lifestyle at a 2-star price. The cost of living? Shockingly low. Your grocery bill will have you wondering if the cashier made a mistake. A meal at a nice restaurant? Less than a fast food combo in the US. And if you're into shopping, Turkish markets will make you feel like a bargaining pro in no time. At this point, you have to ask yourself, do you want to keep overpaying for rent back home, or do you want to own a luxury home in one of the most beautiful, culturally rich countries in the world? Drop a comment and let me know. Would you make the move to Turkey? And if you love this list, hit that like button and subscribe, because we've got even more hidden real estate gems coming your way. Until next time, happy house hunting.